Hi, I'm Scotty. Welcome to my channel, Scotty's Clock World. Thanks for dropping by. I'll move some of these pieces out of the road. And we'll start off by removing the rust out of the coil gong. You can see they're seriously rusty. For that I'll be using some medium grade steel wool. I'll start off on the back, because that's where it's cleanest. I'll just rub around over the coils and then I'll press open the coils. As you can see, the rust there. So we'll run over those. That removes it pretty nicely. Turn around a bit more. Open the coils up. And rub over them with our steel wool. I think there's some down the bottom there. Yep. Pretty tightly wound that coil. It's not easy to get it open. But we have, so that's right round there. And that side's not too bad. There's a little bit. We'll get rid of that. We'll run round the outside here. That's certainly got rust on it. And now we're back to the bad side now. Alright, we'll just start rubbing our steel wool over the coils. We'll take off what we can generally, and then we'll start looking specifically. And there you can see the rust inside the coils. We won't be able to get all this off, but we're certainly going to make a difference and get most of it off. That's lifting off alright. The tighter coils down the bottom are a little bit of a challenge, but that'll work alright. Push it out again. There's a bit more. And a bit more up the outside there. This medium steel wool is doing a reasonable job on this. There's a little bit more. I'll put a finger into that and push it out. And that is pretty much what we're going to get done. It's looking a hell of a lot better, and most of the rust from inside those coils have gone. A little bit there. Alright, now as usual, regular viewers will know, once we've put steel wool on an unblued piece of steel in a clock movement, we always give it a light going over with oil on this little bit of rag. It looks like it might have dried up a bit. I'll put another drop of oil on this. It's general purpose clock oil. It appears that the rag is a bit drier than I thought, so I'll put 3 drops on it. Push it together, roll it round a bit, spread it out. It's not Mobius clock oil that I use on friction parts. It just needs to be a general purpose light oil, clock oil, or a light oil, probably Singer sewing machine oil or thereabouts would do the job. It's just to keep the rust a little bit at bay, so it'll take it longer to discolour again. On the outside, and there we have it. Right, I think there's a little bit of rust on that thread there. I might as well get rid of that while we're here. Put our woolly rag away, give it a quick run round, just twisting it backwards and forwards. holding the steel wool pretty tightly on the thread. And as you can see, that's a lot better than when we started off. Get our little piece of oily rag again. Hold it on the thread, roll it round. Doesn't take very much. And the steel nut type thing, because it's not actually a nut, but it's the part that locks it down, looks alright. Alright, so there's our coil gong, looking pretty damn good actually. Alright, put that aside. Put the top on our oily rag for a minute. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to start cleaning up the cup bell. And while we're at it, we're going to look at the little brass nut that holds it in place. And you can see it's a bit rough all round. Bits of dirt and probably dried up oil and stuff on it, so I'll run over that with our piece of steel wool and that'll clean it up relatively well. Doesn't take very much. Says here dropping it and almost losing it. That's the side that I've cleaned up. That's the other side that hasn't been cleaned yet. So a quick run over that and that'll come up quite nicely and ready to go back into play. Alright, I'll put that aside in our little container there so I don't lose it. Now this is the cup bell that the movement strikes on. It looks seriously rusty, a very fine coat of rust on it there, so I'll initially run over it with our piece of steel wool and remove the top layer of whatever the top layer might happen to be, and then we'll put the bell on our Foredom machine and see if we can put a little bit of a polish on it. Mind you, it's looking better already. You can see the light reflecting off it. Alright, I'll get our Foredom down and we'll have a quick look at that and see if we can put a little bit more of a polish on that. It doesn't need very much, but it's worthwhile looking to see whether the Foredom will make a difference or not. Alright, we've got our Foredom machine here now. We'll start polishing the cup bell now to see how it turns out. I'll be using the red polishing compound on this wheel and the white ultra fine on the buffing wheel. We've turned the machine on slowly at first so we can add some polishing compound to the wheel. We'll turn it up a little bit more and just lightly start running around the outside of the cup bell. Once we've been round the side, we'll start touching up the top, and I think this cup bell may have been anodized or some such. I think it's not making much of a difference to the colour. The grinding compound's obviously taking material off the top. I'll give that a quick wipe and we'll see what we've got. Looking shinier, but still the same colour, so I reckon that's been treated. Alright, now over to the buffing wheel. that big fat one there. Turn the machine on slowly. Put a little bit of our white vinyl polishing compound on. Those two colour polishing blocks are the same compound blocks that we use once we've finished turning a bowl on a woodworking lathe and we want to polish the outside. They're the same grades that we use. I'll turn the polisher up a little bit and we'll run round the bottom first with our fine polishing compound on it. I have a feeling it's not going to make very much difference, but it's going to make it a little bit shinier. We'll run up the, so it certainly is, we'll run up the side of the cup bell there on our third side, and then round to the fourth side, and then across the top. Yep, same colour, but certainly getting a bit of gloss about it. Right, I'll wipe that off with a cloth. We can have a look and see what the cup bell looks like now. That has come up rather nicely. For just a little bit of work on the Foredom machine, the cup bell has come up really nicely. Alright, put that back into its container. Now we're going to polish some pivots. Not on the Foredom, but we are going to polish some pivots. I'll put the Foredom away and then we'll come back. This is a close-up of one of the pivot bushing alignments that we will be looking at in episode 8. And turn it over so we can see what we've got. And we'll start aligning pivots. The first wheel in under there for the maintenance cam.